If you're in a position where you're thinking, what kind of marketing should I create so that I can sell easier in my business? Why should they trust us? Like, actually, we're building a calculator right now on how much it'll cost you to just do nothing. In the last episode of this podcast, I showed you the persuasion framework matrix. And if you don't know what that is, I highly recommend you take 17 minutes or maybe less of your time and go watch that. It is how good marketing makes it easy to sell. It's called persuasion. It's a note I wrote. You'll find the whole story in the previous episode. But now I'm going to show you how to do it. I have the whole checklist. We're going to do it together. And also, if you want this checklist and all the prompts that I use to create this yourself, just comment checklist below and my team is going to get you a copy. So whether you find that on YouTube or Instagram or LinkedIn, it doesn't matter. Comment checklist below and we'll get you all the details. Today, I'm going to show you how to do this in real time and I'm going to do it side by side so we can do this together. All right, come, let's learn.
Hey, it's Ronsley. Welcome, you AI geek, to Amplify AI.
So just again, a refresher, this is the matrix. It basically is how you take your clients from being in a latent and low trust space to being active and high trust, all the way to orchestrating the yes, where their buy intent is high and they believe what you say. The trust and proof is high. So I covered the whole thing in the last episode. In the next episode, I'm going to do exactly like this one, side by side with all the prompts and the checklist on creating these assets. A 3-minute quick win, a calculator, and a swipeable checklist. So if you're in a position where you're thinking, what kind of marketing should I create so that I can sell easier in my business? These episodes are for you, starting with the persuasion framework that I covered last time, followed by this one, and then the ones that come after this, because I'm going to show you how to create these assets that allow your audience to actually get results and also move into this high proof trust area. So the goal today is for you to create your own persuasion framework matrix where you know what kind of assets you need to create in each of these areas for your business and how it will work for you and your audience and your clients and your people and your outcome and your transformation. So this is how to create one like this for yourself and your business. So the checklist, and I'll give you a rough idea on how this works, right? First, you're going to define the audience and then create the 2x2 matrix for yourself. Then we're going to pick an asset in each quadrant or multiple assets in each quadrant. We're going to lock in the KPIs that determine that asset and what success looks like for that. We're going to define what your call to action is and then track and make sure it is ethically and safety bound, right? So let's do this in steps. The first thing is we're going to create an ideal client profile and a friction clarifier. So what we'll do first is we'll just go copy this. Okay, now I spoke about Edith, and Edith is our autonomous intelligent triage helper. Edith actually stands for Amplify AI, ethically driven, intelligent triage helper. So we have our own version of Edith that has a lot of already, our thoughts, our ideas, our brand guidelines, a whole bunch of different things. And in one of the upcoming episodes, I'm going to show you how to create an Edith for yourself. I'm going to go into this little, and we have different versions of that. I'm just going to copy and paste this here. So here, I'm going to change this to what we sell. And obviously you do that for yourself. In here, I'm going to say custom AI software solutions. We create AI team members to make the business to allow the human team to do their work easier, faster. Price points, your project history. Now, the reason I'm using Edith, which you don't really have to, you can just start from scratch and just define this yourself. Look at your project files, actually, because this is already in there. Use your project files to determine. So that's the advantage of kind of having this. So basically, I'm going to start and you just fill in your version. And what we're doing right now is we are kind of getting your ICP and we're trying to get what creates friction. So it found my ICP, founders of $1 to $10 million service businesses with 5 to 20 staff who need faster growth and efficiency now and who control budgets of 25,000 and above, right? Their biggest pain points are they probably have to rewrite proposals that are over 30 minutes, chase follow-ups, produce content, and all this have signals and all this have triggers, and these are blind spots, which is basically assumptions that I should check before I go ahead. So right now, what it's done is it's created an ICP line, which is an ideal client profile, 3-row table of their pain points, and a couple of questions to check. So the next thing I want to do is I kind of want it to use those pain points to create buying triggers, okay? So for example, tender deadline is in less than 45 days, email invite or calendar block marked proposal due. So there's proof, right? So what is the trigger? End of quarter revenue gap, key salesperson resigns, marketing campaign launches in 30 days, investor board meetings in 60 days. So who feels it first? What's the urgency? How did the 5 concise triggers and observable proofs and matching calls to action? Okay, that's here. Let's automate proposals so you never have to miss a deadline again. Run AI follow-ups now to close deals this quarter. Install an AI assistant to pick up admin load immediately. So we build all these AIs that like just run in the background and you never have to worry about them again because they're just doing the thing that it's supposed to. Then the next thing is from there, we want to create your matrix. Okay, so just copy and paste this, the buy, intent, and trust proof matrix, and just literally hit that. What it'll do is 4 tidy sections of the different sections in the matrix. So if you can see the matrix, you'll see Q1 at the bottom, Q2 is at the bottom as well, board authority, and then the Q3 and Q4 is up the top. So in prime pattern, the audience snapshot founders curious about AI, but not feeling the pain strongly yet. The main objection is we're not sure AI is relevant to our size and team, proof needed. So they're really in the bottom where they're latent in buying, they're not ready to buy yet, and they're also low in trust. They don't know the trust. 3 key asset types are short explainer videos, benchmark PDFs, and butt misting posts. The one KPI is the percentage of content downloads from cold traffic. We already have an AI team member called Scout, and it kind of scouts out the market signal and the signals that come in from the market and summarizes it for us. Again, I'll talk about that and show you how to do that in a following video. Then this is for us, right? This will change for you, each one of these sections. So in board of authority, the audience is the founder with urgent pain. Their sales have dropped, but they have no prior relationship with us because they're active in terms of buying intent, but they're low on trust. Their main objection here is why should they trust us? And the proof is what we need is third-party endorsements, client ROI stats like published testimonials. The 3 types of assets to create here are case study decks, podcast guesting on other shows, and LinkedIn carousels with metrics. Number 1 KPI to track is the number of inbound demos booked from new leads. And we already have a AI teammate that kind of does this. It's called Radar. And Radar does competitor analysis and market intelligence, which is kind of cool. So imagine like we've got Scout and Radar just operating all the time and giving us results. Again, in the upcoming videos, I'm going to show you how to create these yourself. We're moving high into the trust area, but low on the latency in terms of buying intent. And the audience snapshot is that they're a warm network who already know and rate me or us, but they don't feel a fire to act yet. So the main objection is looks great, but timing isn't right. The proof needed is light touch experiments showing easy wins. 3 asset types in this category for us is, pilot, offer, invite, ROI calculator. Actually, we're building a calculator right now on how much it'll cost you to just do nothing. So there's a few there that can be used. The number 1 KPI to track in this area, in this quadrant for us is the number of warm leads moving into pilot, into the proof of concept area. And we already have a teammate that does personalized content generation. So, again, you can create these AI teammates that actually help you do certain things. And finally, up the top, to orchestrate the yes, they're already high in trust. They know what we do, and they're active in terms of buying intent. They want to buy now. They're a trusted founder that actually want to get something done in the next 30 to 60 days. And the main objection at this point is, will this deliver fast enough to matter now? The proof needed is speed to value proof and a 30-day implementation plan. The 3 types of assets that we should create here: the implementation timeline, guarantee offer, and video walkthrough. The key KPI here is deal cycle length. How long does it take from first call to signed? And we have Victor, who actually is a deal closing assistant that helps you. So in the next few episodes, I'm going to show you how we're going to create each of these assets for ourselves. But again, if you want this whole checklist, just let me know. So after it's created the persuasion matrix, the next thing I want is a score table of the top 3 assets to create and where they fit in. So it's done this really good job of looking at all the different things and said to me, all right, well, the first thing I've got to actually build this week is this direct deal closing asset. It's needed for urgent prospects. The next thing I got to build is a case study deck, so to build trust and compound sales proof. And the next thing I got to build is a benchmark PDF, which we already have, by the way, and you can find that at scorecard.theamplifyai.com. Faster ship, captures cold interest. We've got this, and it does a whole audit on a business. So after you're going through your own version of this, I want you to just copy and paste all these things. So each quadrant, define KPI. And, the team has done a great job in terms of putting this together in a way that you just have to copy and paste it. So if you want this whole playbook and this prompt stack, comment checklist below and a team will find a way to get that to you. So for each one of those quadrants, now you should have 4 short sections plus a neat KPI table with formulas and sources. So what does it take for each one of the things? So the KPIs and what benchmarks to keep track of. And then what we want is your style and tone. So I'm messaging Edith, and Edith kind of has some of our messaging styles already inside her. But what I want are some call to actions. And if you're doing it in your own version, you should be able to have these. So it'll create call to actions for what we're trying to create. And then it'll make sure that it'll create voice and guardrails. So what I've kind of basically done here is given you a step-by-step way to create your own version of persuasion and the different assets required to take someone who's in your audience from a very low point in terms of trust and buying intent to a high point where they trust and value what you are doing and also are very ready to buy. So this is the full playbook, and we kind of execute them one after the other. And it's done a really great job, not only at doing that, but finally landing up with this voice and guardrails card that says do's and don'ts for how I want it to behave, what to do, what not to do, what checklist to look at, and how to create it. In the next episode, I'm going to show you how to create assets at speed. We're going to create the bottom assets, which are for audience that don't know who we are in terms of trust and proof, and they're also low in the intent, buying intent scale. What kind of assets should we create for them? I'm going to show you how I'm going to create mine, and we can do that together just like we did today. Check out some of the previous ones because there's a lot of really cool stuff that we've done. I'll see you in the next episode. Hey, AI Geek. Thanks for listening. Your job doesn't stop here. I want you to lend your voice to the conversation. So you can join those conversations, discussions, new trainings, new recordings, and the rest of the AI geeks by going to amplifyais.com. Also, share this podcast with a friend, another potential AI geek. Until then, much love.